told your friend you're not okay.
Friends, K-pop news brings you a story that feels so unbelievable, yet it actually happened before the world's eyes. Mexico City, on May 7th, 2026, transformed into a stage for history unlike anything ever witnessed before. The main streets were filled with people from early morning, sirens blared from every corner of the city, and thousands of armies stood for hours in the sun for one simple hope: to catch a glimpse of the 7 men who have transformed the global music industry. But this time, everything felt much bigger than a typical concert. This wasn't just the arrival of an international artist. It was a moment when the worlds of politics, cultural diplomacy, and the power of global fandom collided all on the same day. And amidst all the spotlight, one name managed to steal the most attention: Taehyung of BTS. Mexico City seemed to have lost its normal rhythm. From early morning, the area around the National Palace was filled with fans from various Latin American countries. Some carried South Korean flags, others wore purple, and still others held posters of Taehyung with handwritten messages of hope. Many even admitted to staying up all night just to secure the best spots around Plaza Zocalo. The atmosphere felt like a world festival, filled with emotion, tears, and joy beyond words. Behind the majestic walls of Mexico's National Palace, preparations for the formal occasion began in earnest. Security was tightened to the highest level. Black-plated vehicles lined the main courtyard, while elite security personnel were seen guarding every corner of the historic building. All attention was focused on the arrival of the 7 members of BTS, who were guests of honor that day of President Claudia Sheinbaum. Many media outlets called this meeting one of the largest forms of cultural diplomacy ever between South Korea and Mexico. When the black convoy finally entered the palace grounds, loud cheers immediately shook the entire city center. Thousands of fans screamed hysterically as the car doors opened one by one. RM emerged first with his characteristic calm aura, followed by Jin, who smiled and waved to the fans from a distance. Jimin was seen bowing politely to the crowd several times, while J-Hope attempted to greet the army despite the tight security. But when Taehyung stepped out of the last vehicle, dressed in an elegant black suit and his signature calm gaze, the atmosphere changed completely. The cheers were much louder, more emotional, and even brought some fans to tears on the spot. Many said that night, Taehyung looked like a modern-day aristocrat straight out of a historical film. The way he calmly walked down the red carpet, the way he gazed at the crowd with a small smile, were all so captivating that social media was filled with video clips of him within minutes. Taehyung's name even topped global trending topics before the official meeting began. Inside the National Palace's Hall of Honor, President Claudia Sheinbaum warmly welcomed BTS. The meeting was not only a symbol of respect for music, but also a recognition of BTS's significant influence on the world's youth. The Mexican president conveyed how BTS's music has united millions of young people from different cultures and created an emotional connection that transcends language. She called BTS a symbol of global unity in the modern era. However, the public's attention was again drawn to Taehyung when official palace cameras captured his interaction with President Sheinbaum. Taehyung was seen smiling warmly several times while listening to an explanation of the history of the National Palace. Even a small moment when Taehyung expressed his gratitude in Spanish immediately went viral on social media. Many fans noted that the president's expression was clearly impressed by Taehyung's politeness and charisma throughout the meeting. Outside the palace, the atmosphere was getting increasingly tense. Plaza Zocalo was filled with thousands of purple light sticks lit up in the afternoon sun. Many fans sang along and chanted BTS's name nonstop. Some even climbed onto their friends' shoulders just to get a glimpse of the palace balcony. Everyone knew a crucial moment was about to happen. And sure enough, moments after the meeting concluded, the doors to the main balcony of the National Palace slowly opened. The 7 members of BTS emerged, standing side by side before a sea of people filling downtown Mexico City. The cheers immediately erupted so loudly that many local media outlets described it as a small earthquake in the city center. The atmosphere was incredibly emotional. Many fans cried as they clutched their light sticks tightly. Meanwhile, The black convoy carrying BTS moved slowly toward the main venue of the 2026 Arirang World Tour. Along the way, crowds of fans still lined the sidewalks, waving their purple light sticks. Many ran after the motorcade just to get a glimpse of the car's windows. Some cried when they caught sight of Taehyung's silhouette sitting in the back seat, his face tired but still smiling gently at the fans outside. On social media, the atmosphere only grew more explosive. A video of Taehyung standing on the balcony of the National Palace was played millions of times in just a few hours. Many international news accounts began to call the moment one of the most powerful symbols of the cultural relationship between South Korea and Latin America. Even several local television stations in Mexico interrupted their regular programming to rebroadcast BTS's arrival from various camera angles. But the biggest focus that night remained on Taehyung. There was something different about him since arriving in Mexico. His gaze seemed more emotional, warmer, as if he truly recognized the immense love his Latin American fans had shown BTS over the years. Many armies noticed Taehyung's gaze lingering longer than usual at times, as if trying to memorize every face standing beneath the palace balcony that afternoon. When the convoy finally arrived at the stadium where the concert would take place, the atmosphere was even more extraordinary. Thousands of fans who had been waiting since morning immediately screamed hysterically as the main gates opened. Camera flashes from cell phones filled the area outside the venue like a sea of stars. Security guards seemed overwhelmed, trying to hold back the crowd, which was getting closer just to see the members disembark from the vehicle. Taehyung was one of the last members to exit the vehicle. Wearing a simple black hoodie and a dark hat, he appeared to be trying to walk quickly toward the backstage entrance. However, his steps suddenly slowed when he heard a fan shouting his name in Korean, her voice trembling with tears. Taehyung paused for a moment. He turned to the crowd, then slowly raised his hand with a small smile. It was only a few seconds, but the moment immediately made the thousands of people scream even louder. Many fans present at the scene reported that the atmosphere was incredibly emotional. After years of waiting for BTS to return as a full group after their military service, they finally got to see all 7 members stand together again on the world stage. And Mexico was one of the first to witness that resurgence. Inside the stadium, the atmosphere backstage was a stark contrast to the bustling crowd outside. Staff were quickly working on the final details of the opening concert. Giant monitors were tested repeatedly, lighting was rechecked, and the thumping bass began to emanate from the main stage. RM was seen in deep discussion with the production team, while J-Hope tried out choreography with the dancers. Jin and Jimin sat and joked around to ease the tension before the concert began. But in one corner of the backstage, Taehyung was seen standing alone, staring at the monitor displaying the sea of fans inside the stadium. His face was calm, but his eyes held an unexplainable emotion. One staff member even said that Taehyung had been silent for quite some time that night, as if trying to absorb all the significant moments that had occurred since their arrival in Mexico. And then a small moment occurred that immediately became a big topic of conversation among staff and fans alike. As the final dress rehearsal began, Taehyung suddenly asked for the audio system to be turned off for a moment. Everyone backstage immediately fell silent. He then walked closer to the side of the stage and listened to the armies chanting BTS's name from outside the stadium, even though the concert hadn't even begun. A soft smile appeared on his face. In a low voice barely caught on camera, Taehyung said, "I think tonight will be one we'll never forget." Those simple words spread across social media just minutes later after being leaked by an internal staff member. Fans were getting more and more impatient for the concert to begin. Many believed that Mexico would get something very special from BTS that night. Outside the stadium, the atmosphere turned wild as the big screen began displaying the countdown to the concert's opening. Thousands of army light sticks moved in unison, like a giant purple wave that filled the entire venue. The cheers grew louder with each passing second.